Basketball has come such a long way, and just in terms of the skills of the different players, we are living in an era where every NBA team has a super skilled and talented player. We're also living in an era where you can legitimately consider every team to have a star or multiple stars on their roster. Every last one of the 30 teams can make this claim. The video game series NBA 2K uses a rating system to determine the rank amongst the players. Right now, at this moment, you have 30 plus players. That's over the threshold of 86 rating. We have never seen the game more talented, and I will speak to this in another video, but right now, that is important because it wasn't always like that. We went from a time in the 50s, 60s, and 70s where players played like this.
The biggest asset that the bigger men have, this is really what separates them from the other players and enables them to play on this level. So all the way down the line, this versatility, mobility is the keynote.
Bob, with the great attribute of having peripheral vision, had to be a great help to you, especially on the fast break when you could really see everyone coming down the court, probably better than anyone. I've got some films here that I think stresses the versatility of Bob Cousy, so let's take a look, Bob.
It helps to be a freak to some degree to play sports, and specifically basketball, Paul. And thank God I qualified in this respect with the vision, the long arms, the big hands, things of this nature, which enable you to control the ball much better, see the entire playing court without actually turning your head.
Now we have players doing all types of layups, step backs, hitting a barrage of threes, doing insane dunks, spin layups, any type of acrobatic layup, displaying all types of pace and footwork. I just don't know where the game goes from here. No one player exemplifies this more than Luka Doncic. Luka has come into the scene as sort of a basketball savant and child prodigy. The thing this guy is able to do out on the court is nothing short of magnificent. I mean, it's truly unbelievable. For a player to come in the game that young and just immediately dominate and understand certain things that you wouldn't think a young player would be able to grasp and understand until they became a veteran player, it's just unreal. By playing in Europe, Luka was able to get a head start on all of his competition, just in terms of playing against grown men and their physicality. That experience is immeasurable. Also, it seems that the EuroLeague has rules favorable for developing players. The Euro style of play is innovative in taking basketball to the next level. All of the different stars and players that we have seen come from the EuroLeague into the NBA over the years have been supremely skilled over the years, and I believe this is the reason we are seeing such a skilled era of basketball that we've yet to see in any other era of the sport. Even amongst American-born players, a lot of them grew up watching and idolizing the EuroLeague players. That's why you would see players like Dwayne Wade and James Harden master moves like the step back. Combine that with the role of individual mentors and trainers, which is a lot of what we are building with the Doctrine of Hoops brand, and you get this sort of mastery of the sport that I believe you will see the NBA have to expand teams for talent overload purposes. For Luka in particular, I believe he is 1A in a class of his own when it comes to the mastery of basketball skill and talent. His understanding of three key elements allow him to thrive early and often, like we haven't seen any other player thrive in the history of the game. The three elements are his mind, his vision, and his movement. Body movement, that is. When it comes to his mind, I have never seen a player so composed under pressure, have the ability to just slow everything down and not get sped up and not get slowed down. You can't rush his decision-making process. Also, a credit to his mind is his ability to play with a zen train of thought that we only see from the game's best closers. We've seen Phil Jackson implement this concept with the Michael Jordan-led Bulls and the Kobe and Shaq-led Lakers. And from that, birthed two of the deadliest closers and clutch players in teams of all time. This is how on both of those teams you would get these clutch players like making big plays like Robert Horry, Derek Fisher, or Steve Kerr. That ability to really break down your mind and control it seems to come naturally with Luka, and he has done a good job of honing that in, and the results speak for themselves. Next, we'll have to talk about Luka's vision, because the man just seems to have eyes in the back of his head. And like I said, it's just amazing how a player so young can just grasp these concepts so early. Like I literally never seen this. I think I seen a stat that said in his first couple of years, he's already averaging more rebounds and assists than LeBron James' first couple of years. His hand-eye coordination is something off of the charts because there's one thing to spot the open man, but to be able to just pick up the ball mid-dribble and immediately going into a passing motion is something that is very overlooked when we're talking about great passers. That is why you cannot double team him because He would just find your man so instantly, which makes him a terror to defenses. I always say the thing that separates a superstar from a regular star is his ability to be either so good at one thing that the defense just can't stop him, or be so dynamic at plenty of things that every time a defense stops one thing, there's something else he will be able to get to. The thing about Luka is he's both. That makes him even more than a superstar in my opinion. But going back to the three, the last one is movement. Luka has mastered movement, so much to the point that he has tricked the world into thinking he's slow. But actually, that's just the pace that he plays at. He actually has some pretty good speed and athleticism for a guy his size, but because he's able to just play in slow motion and still get what he wants, people don't really know how to take that. He's able to create advantages, create angles, take advantage of mismatches, draw fouls, and use opponents' momentum against them. This makes for a super tricky player to defend, and combined with all of the other elements, this seems to be something that will be coming in the future of basketball. So when we talk about what is next for the future of basketball, I believe this is it. I believe that we are approaching a point where there will be just a period of pure mastery of the sport at every position and on every team. The key separator when this happens will be mentality, grit, work ethic, and all of the other basketball intangibles. Young players have to take heed to the direction of the future of basketball, whether you are a male or female player wanting to get to the next level and play professional ball. These are the things you would have to think about developing.